Welcome to Panels and Borders. I'm Dominic, and I'm here today to talk about Masters of the Universe, and because there has been some pretty big news about Masters of the Universe that dropped a few days ago. But first of all, I want to talk about my own connection with Masters of the Universe. It was one of my favorite toy lines when I was growing up. I loved Masters of the Universe. And even right till this day, I still continue to collect Masters of the Universe things every time I go anywhere, any kind of a thrift store or any kind of an antique mall, anything like that, and I can pick up some of the old Masters of the Universe figures. I jump all over it. And also, I've got a modest collection of the Masters Classics. I used to buy them on Matty Collector. Now I haven't bought any since they've switched the license over to Super 7. But so I'm a big fan. I'm actually a fan of the original Masters of the Universe film that came out in the 80s. It came out in 87. I really have a fond, soft spot for that film. I know a lot of people who are Masters of the Universe fans do not like that film, and I can understand if you don't like it. I'm well aware of all the flaws of that movie. And I have some of the Dark Horse books that were released, like the big volume of all the mini comics, and I got Master of the Universe, the artwork, all the artwork that was done for the toys, and the big thick book, and even the character guides for Masters of the Universe. So yeah, pretty big fan. And now the news that dropped is about a new Masters of the Universe movie that is in the works. So now, I've been reading off and on about a Masters of the Universe movie for a long time, and it just, for whatever reason, it just cannot get any traction. And one of the very early ideas that I read about, and I'm so glad they didn't go with it, was going to be, they were just going to call the movie Grayskull and not Masters of the Universe, and Skeletor was going to be a completely technological-based villain, and he was going to be eradicating all magic from the planet Eternia and using technology to take it over, which I thought was a really stupid idea, since Skeletor is a sorcerer in the cartoons and the comics and in all the original source material. So but it never went anywhere, so a lot of false starts and finishes and all that. So this news dropped, and it came from an article, a Dread Central article. Now, this is the article I found. It's not the first article to report on this news. So I'm going to go through a little bit of the article and then discuss it. New writers hired to pen script for live-action Masters of the Universe movie. We've been following news of a proposed live-action reboot of Masters of the Universe since the project was first announced last year. Adam and Aaron Lee had been retained to direct the flick, with writer and executive producer David S. Goyer penning the script. Now we're getting word that a new team of writers has been retained to completely rewrite the movie. Sorry, David. Deadline announced that Art Markham and Matt Holloway will take up the mantle, delivering a completely different script. The Industry Hub also announced currently Masters of the Universe had a release date this year on December 20th, but getting an event production of this magnitude up and running will take time, so it's quite conceivable we could see the release date moved into 2020. So I think even 2020, that might be a bit, even that might be a bit rushed. Maybe like give it till 2021 or 2022 just to get like a really good script out, and I'd rather wait a little bit longer to have a really good Masters of the Universe movie than to have one come out right away and it'd be garbage. So here are the two writers that have been hired to rewrite the script, and here's some of the movies that they've worked on. So Transformers Last Night, ooh, a lot of people didn't like that movie, so that's kind of not a good sign. And MIB International, now that hasn't been released yet, so nobody knows what that's going to be like. But one bright spot here is the original Iron Man film, which is a very important film, because this film kicked off the entire MCU, so it's a very important movie in movie history, and it was a very good movie. So I think this is excellent news to see that there's finally some traction going again on a Masters of the Universe film. Now, albeit this is very, very early, and a lot can happen. The bottom can fall out of this like it's done many times before. Sony has had a real tough time getting on the ball with this movie. I don't know if there's some kind of a limit that they have to have one out at a certain date or they'll lose the license from Mattel. Now, Sony, in my eyes, have not had the best track record when it comes to movies. They've released a lot of duds. Like, their track record on Spider-Man hasn't been good, although I haven't seen it yet, but I heard the new Venom is actually really good. And Into the Spider-Verse, I've heard, has been really good. Neither one of those movies I've seen yet. So hopefully this turnaround with their movies producing better films, hopefully Masters of the Universe is one of those movies that falls into that category as a really good film that starts to turn Sony's movies around. Now, I don't know how many of you can remember a few years back it was reported that Amy Schumer was going to be starring in a Barbie movie. And now it's came out, and then that story just kind of disappeared. Now it came out that Margot Robbie is going to be playing Barbie, and everyone knows her as Harley Quinn from the Suicide Squad film. But also reported they were planning a crossover between Barbie and He-Man at one point. So a lot of bad ideas that were swimming around Sony, and like that Amy Schumer Barbie movie that was going to be written by Lena Dunham. So that movie would have been like a financial disaster. It sounded very PC, and it was going to focus on body positivity and all that kind of stuff. So thankfully for Barbie fans, that's scrapped. Someone wised up at Sony. And then now this crossover between Barbie and He-Man, thank God that got thrown away too. I can only imagine if they had Amy Schumer playing Barbie and Jack Black or something as He-Man, they're crossing over. What kind of a disaster movie that would have been. So, so far, it looks like Sony might be making some course corrections here with their films, and hopefully Masters of the Universe is part of that. So let me know what you think of all this in the comments section, and I will see you at the next one. Thank you to all of my subscribers, and thank you for watching this video. And if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification when new videos are uploaded.